everyone, welcome to Mad Dog Fitness and Gaming. Today I've decided to bring to you a lower body workout, a very simple one that you can do at home if you have a little bit of equipment. You can do it at a gym. It's a really easy thing to set up, so I'm going to explain these movements to you. We're going to go through some of the pointers on them and then just kind of how you need to go about attacking this exercise so you can get the most out of it. Let's jump right in. For squat form, we're going to talk first from the ground up. My feet are placed at approximately hip to shoulder width apart. My toes are pointed out just slightly. That's going to help me get my hips down into that squat. I'm standing upright with good posture. I'm not slouched over. And the bar is resting on my back, approximately on my traps. If you're not using a bar on your back, you can do a goblet squat holding the weight in front of you near your chest. You can do an air squat, whichever way you choose to do that. You can do a front squat with the bar racked in the front on your shoulders. Anyways, so working our way up, we have that proper posture. Now, I'm going to squat down by moving my butt back slightly and down. Say butt back and down are my cues. So my butt just unlocks slightly, comes back, and it travels down. You're going to bring your butt down until your hip crease is below your knee, if that's as low as you can go. We don't want to bottom out to the point where we're resting on our own legs, where we're kind of sitting on our shins or our calves at the bottom. You don't want to go that low, but you want to get to at least hip crease below the knee. Keeping your chest up, you'll notice my chest does not dip and fall over. And then what you're going to do from the bottom position is, in order to get the right musculature and the right movement to bring yourself back up, you're going to squeeze your glutes powerfully. You can see this as I'm doing it. I'm not to draw too much attention to my ass, but you can see my glutes squeezing as I come back up, and that's going to give me the power I need to return out of that squat, and it's going to make sure I'm using the right muscles. A lot of people tend to use their quads way too much whenever they're doing leg exercises. That's not the proper way or the best, most efficient way to do a squat. So you're going to squeeze your glutes, keep your chest up, and drive yourself to the top of that squat once again, so you're standing upright, and then you're ready for rep number 2. One of the things I want to mention with this, though, however, is do not snap and lock your knees into position. Keep soft knees that are just slightly unlocked for every single rep. So those are the points for doing a squat. Next, we're going to be performing a deadlift, picking a weight up off the ground, standing up tall, and then setting it back down on the ground again. Sounds simple, but there's actually a lot happening here with this movement. So starting from the ground, we're going to be standing at about hip shoulder width apart again. Slightly closer stance than a squat might be a little bit helpful, but still turning the toes out just slightly is going to be a good position for your feet. So what you're going to do is you're going to be holding some weights at your sides. You can hold some dumbbells or kettlebells out at your sides, or you can hold a barbell, having your hands at shoulder width apart or just outside, using either 2 overhanded grips or 1 overhand, 1 underhand to secure the weight in your hands. And standing from the top with that nice tall straight posture, you're going to push your hips back. Now my knees will be slightly bent for this, just so that they're unlocked, and so that my hamstrings aren't too tight as I'm going down, but I'm just going to push my hips back really far until my hands get to my knees. Now when my hands get to my knees, that's the transition point to where I'm going to start using my legs to lower the weight the rest of the way to the ground. So you're going to push those hips back, 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 and as your hands are sliding down your legs, once they get to the knees, the legs will help you finish that movement and getting to the ground. And at that point, your back angle will remain the same. So reverse order. From the ground, you're going to be in that position with your spine straight. Your angle of your back is going to be to where your butt is just lower than your upper back. If I set a marble on top of your upper back, it should slowly roll towards your butt. Your back is staying straight and strong. You're keeping your shoulder blades pinched back and down, and your head in line with your spine, not looking every which way. I call it Batman cowl, keeping that neck kind of locked into position. So, as we're from the bottom position, guess what? Again, we're going to squeeze our glutes as we're standing up using our legs. And once our hands get to that knee point again, the transition point where the knees are, or once the bar gets to the knee, is where we're going to bring the hips forward. The exact opposite of what we were doing when we started this movement. Bringing the hips back forward again. And that's going to take us to the top of the position for our deadlift. Next, we're going to be performing sideways lunges. You'll notice I have a nice wide stance, toes pointed out a little bit further this time, still keeping that good posture. Now, the stance is outside shoulder width or even wider. Now I'm going to keep my legs planted in those same spots rather than stepping out with these lunges, just because my ground's a little bit slippery in my garage. I'm going to show you a stepping out position a little bit later. But I'm holding that weight, that medicine ball, up at my chest. I'm keeping my chest upright the whole time. And I'm going to squat down to one leg while keeping the other leg nice and straight. Not bending the other knee, keeping it basically straight, not locked out, but straight, while the other leg does this squatting or lunging. So I'm going to lunge over to that one side, get as low as I can without resting at the bottom, and then squeeze and bring myself back up. So now here we're going to do a set stepping and back. It's a little bit harder sometimes, but I'm going to do all one leg and then move back to the other leg. It's important that you keep your balance whenever you're doing this, don't fall over. And it's going to be a great exercise, especially for working the inner thigh and a little bit of the outer thigh. A lot of people tend to neglect the inner and outer thigh, and they're very important because they start getting weaker and it starts compromising our balance. So we want to do these exercises to improve the strength there. All right, that's your sideways lunge. The last exercise we're going to be doing is the banded or cable abduction movement. Now this one specifically will be working the outer thigh and also hitting some of that outer glute area. You will feel it. Now, if you have a cable machine at your gym, you're going to use the cable attachment from the bottom position and have a wrap or strap on your ankle so that you can stand and then use the weight against that leg. Now I'm facing away from the machine, as you can see, or from the band. I'm just using a band right now. And I'm going to pull away from my body with that leg, keeping everything sideways. Notice I'm not twisting my body so that I'm moving my foot forward or my leg forward. I'm moving it exactly out to the side, keeping the rest of my body from doing too much more movement, trying to isolate it to that outer thigh and to that glute on each side. So you're going to do your 3 sets on one side, switch over, do your 3 sets on the other side. Again, working inner and outer thigh are things that people tend to neglect, tend to get weak, and compromise our balance. So you want to make sure you're doing these exercises as well. I wanted to mention a few things before the video is over. You'll notice in the video at several points I show you my iPhone, and it'll say 87 or 82% or something like that, and then a little bit later I'll show you the iPhone again, and it'll say something like 62%, 60%. What I'm showing you there is my intensity or effort level. Now, intensity and effort can be modified using weight, modified using speed, in many different ways. But weight, you want to make sure your weight is appropriate for these exercises. For the 3 sets of 10, I have an appropriately challenging weight that is making me have to put a significant amount of effort into these exercises. So you need to make sure you're doing that. If you do not put the appropriate amount of intensity or effort into your exercise, you're not going to reap the rewards of it. So it's kind of based on you, what you will get from this exercise. You need to challenge yourself, but you also need to be safe. If you're yawning the whole time, you need to up the weight, up the intensity. If you're about to die after one set, it's maybe a little bit heavy, you need to tone it down just a little bit. So I wanted to mention that intensity or effort that you need to be monitoring. Also, this isn't the most complete and totally comprehensive guide on form. I realize that some people could poke holes in things here and there if they want to. And simply put, it's really hard for me to coach someone with exact, perfect form unless I can actually see them in front of me. And yes, I'm a personal trainer and that's what I do. So this is just some of the keys and things I think will help you get started. If you need to fine tune your movement a little bit more, maybe go see a personal trainer. Hey, come see me. That'd be fun. But maybe go see a personal trainer or someone who you can trust, who will get you doing these exercises perfectly well, who can fine tune it for you and who can find the flaws in your movement. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I appreciate your support and I appreciate you watching these things, because helping people is what I love to do, and you're letting me have a way to do that. So if you have any other ways that I could help you out with your fitness and your exercise, even with your gaming, not that I'm an especially wonderful gamer, but I like helping with that too. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for future videos, let me know, and you might just see one made for you especially. I did one a few weeks ago for another friend, the upper chest workout. Go check that one out too. I have plenty of other videos I've already posted and many more to come. So once again, this is Mad Dog Fitness and Gaming, signing out.